Hey everyone, this is Manly Badass Hero, and welcome back to the letter. Previously we completed Ashton's route. Now we're moving on to the final round of the game, and we get to play as our fan favorite, Luke. I just can't get out of my head, no matter how hard I try.
You would be nothing without me. Your company would be buried in debt and you'd be begging on the streets if it weren't for me!
I can still feel those stares, the way they judge me with their tiny empty minds. Pinpricks on the back of my head. Eyes all over me. They don't look at me with awe and desire, but with accusations and disgust. If I don't do something, everything I have, everything I've earned, will amount to nothing.
Honey, I'm home!
I could think of nothing else all throughout the day, and it's left me nervous and agitated. I've done little else but worry about it. Maybe we'll see, like, if there is some logic to maybe Luke doing cold murder. Why, I almost shot a thug in the foot for laughing too loud, while I was enjoying a sandwich. And I've contemplated, tipping back and forth between yes and no, will and won't. Mulling over a word that starts with M, and I've been doing so with great malice. Murdered on my mind. It seems a bit too much, I know. It's just a thought. But thoughts are dangerous things. Who cares what the buffoons think of me? They are beneath me. But Hannah, to think that she feels that way towards me. I can't stomach the thought that she thinks so lowly of me, that she may have always believed me to be less than her. It was the way she looked at me, with eyes so full of anger and hatred, that burns me most of all.
There is no prince that loves another better. She is not deserving.
Why, thank you, voices in my head.
Darling! Love! Buttercup! Why aren't you answering?
Upstairs, Luke!
Your princely dignity must not suffer that wrench.
No, I mustn't. I am beneath no one. My steps are slow and heavy as I climb the stairs. One of my knives rests neatly up my sleeve, and its cold blade will not let me forget its presence nor my intent. When I enter our room and look upon her, where she stays, I have a thought that nearly makes me laugh. I might not be a prince here to save the princess in the tower. I just might be the dragon that takes and kills. Yet she doesn't know that. Not yet. Even I am unsure which way it'll go right now.
This lewd woman is not worthy. She should not escape without punishment.
Here I am expecting a warm welcome home, and here you are locked up in the room like a shut-in. Oh, Hannah, what am I to do with you?
Not stab her.
You're looking a little bit pale. Are you all right?
I must have had something funny, actually. Maybe from the party last night. Maybe breakfast or lunch.
Also, if you can't tell, this is going off the everyone dies route. Not the good routes or anything like that, which I got earlier. Oh, if only that were the case. Perhaps you would have been too sick to do what you did to me last night.
You Hans had been acting really strangely while you were gone. Do you think?
Do I think what? That he poisoned you? Don't be silly. He wouldn't do such a thing unless I tell him to.
That bastard is told to look after her. Make sure she doesn't leave. A guard for the princess. I did not tell him the extent of my plans, only that I'd hoped to talk to her, to see how this has come to be. But I can't even find reason to try and forgive her for what she's done. If I'm to do anything, it'd be best to control the situations I could steer the story. One cannot get away with crimes as much as I have without being a director of nature. I can be the loving husband, distraught over his wife's death if needed. Or if she were to say, disappear. That can be arranged as well, whichever I see fit. A great hesitance comes over me, though, as I hold her in my arms, one that I haven't felt before. Even things such as killing comes easy with the idea that it's for my well-being. But then again, this is Hannah. Sweet Hannah. Am I really to do this? Perhaps we can still fix things.
She will bring you nothing but troubles and vexations.
You're right, evil voice in my head.
Don't you worry. If you are sick, I'll take care of you myself. I did tell you that you'll have my afternoon and every moment after for as long as you live, didn't I? I am just so worried about my poor wifey. That Rochelle woman had some nerve, and I've insulted your honor so. My poor wifey has been through so much.
Silently, I procure my knife and press it against the small of her back. This close, I can feel the hitch of her breath, and it's all too easy to imagine the quickening of her heart. To know I hold another human's life in my hands can be rather breathtaking at times. It is power, after all. Enticing and intoxicating.
My poor, spoiled wifey, Hannah fucking Evans. Silver spoon in her mouth, never had to lift a finger in her goddamn life.
You know, like, how contradicting that is, considering Luke knows how hard she worked.
Poor wifey trying to ruin everything for me. All that I've worked so hard for. She'll just take it all away. Just like that. We've got to fix that. You know, you and I, we have to make sure you don't pull a dodgy stunt like the one you did last night. Even if we have to take you out of the picture permanently.
It makes one feel like a god and a monster in equal measure. But one cannot be both. Oh, I could cite some examples from mythology. Semantics. Which one am I? I'm...
Kill her. Kill her now.
Why are you doing this?
It is for the best.
Because, Hannah, darling, it's never enough.
Plus, this is a Shining reference.
I want it all.
She is only getting in our way.
You don't have to do this. You can still have it all, Luke. Just please. Don't you love me?
I do love you so very much.
Oh, I still do, Hannah. I do love you.
I love you. I love you. But truth be told, you have been hurt sooner or later, one way or another. The least I can do is make it quick and painless and have you in my arms as you go. Others go out screaming, suffering, because there's so much pain in this world. This is a gift, right?
But you're outliving your usefulness. In fact, you're becoming a pain in the arse, just like your dear old dad.
I keep suspecting Luke murdered the father. I mean, I feel like it's been kind of obvious for a while.
Now I'm doing you a favor, and you'll be with him again. Real soon.
There's no prince more caring and loving. Now be rid of her.
Which is why I must do this even though it pains me too.
What's so funny?
There's nothing funny. Why am I laughing as well?
We were so beautiful.
How does one get away with murder? By being clean and efficient. By being methodical. By being ready to do anything and everything to make sure you aren't caught or implicated of the crime. A knife in the back. They never quite see it coming, do they? And the knife stays in there until the blood stops flowing as freely as it does. A cork stopper for something a lot more gory than wine. It means a lot less blood on my person as well. There's no time to delay, no time to think twice. I start to drag the body, face down so that the blood doesn't spill on the floor. I can't take her out into the hallway just yet. I guess an errant servant strays past. But the room next to ours is remote and inaccessible to the rest of the house. Hannah has forbidden anyone to go in there. But would be the children's room? Oh god, that's a lot of irony, as she has wished it to be. It's a pet project of hers. Only she and McCullough have been allowed. Nobody would even dare set a foot in there. Even I have not, though it's mostly out of indifference. Will have to do for now. A thorough cleaning will also have to be scheduled. Some lime will be purchased. Or actually, daffodils. Covered up with fertilizer and we can plant daffodils on it. Alibis will have to be planned, the possibilities for that are endless, and I will have to be thought through later. In the meantime, my body moves on autopilot. How many times have I done this? I don't really know. Although it has been a while, I act with a familiarity I should be disturbed by. My mind screams as Hana, but part of me snuffs it out. It tells me to be quiet and be a good little boy. I've done this before, and being sentimental has not done me any favors. What do I do now has got me far in life. So why should this be any different? It was Hana. Now it's simply a cooling body. That's all this is. A body and a crime scene I need to be rid of. Right. In my hurry to hide the body, what I see next blindsides me.
What? What is all this?
100% ghost. Walls in off-white. A simple base to be painted on of another color. Makes the room stand in contrast to the others plastered with wallpaper. The area is sparsely furnished and with a little more than a little toy chest tucked in the corner of the room, along with a shelf, barren except a few books and trinkets. 2 teddy bears stare down at me from the shelves. Oh, so that room, that's the letter room, actually. Great room for a kid. Perfect. But it is what stands by the window that catches me off guard. There's a moment of confusion, as if my brain has shut down and has catched up with what I'm seeing. I imagine it must be a ghastly sight when the blood has left my cheeks already. I have to clutch at my chest, fearing that my beating heart would just burst. I have to take a step back before I can stumble forward. I feel faint, like I'm floating and any step I take will send me falling. Though it doesn't need much to take me off my feet, not when my knees shake. Not when the body becomes too much of a burden to carry. A crib of all bloody things, stands in the corner, innocent and unassuming. I can almost hear that laughter, mocking me without pity, but none are as condemning as the sound of my own thoughts ringing in my head. Look at what you've done. Look at what you've destroyed. That's all you do, isn't it? Make a mess of it and kill everything you touch. Is nothing precious? Is nothing sacred? Is nothing safe? You are your father's son. The possible implications of what I've done weighs heavily, looming over my head as she lays still in my arms. Any will I had, any strength I had mustered in order to hide what I have done, seeps away. I can't hold on to her anymore. I have no right to. My very touch corrupts and stains everything with blood. And Hana, she was just too pure, too good. I wasn't worthy. But I was too greedy and I had to ruin her, too. With reverence, an odd thing to feel for someone I just murdered, I carefully put her down on the ground. That's all I can manage. I can't even pick myself up. Fatigue takes over me and I resign myself to sit with my back against the wall. I killed her. I never thought I would actually go through with it. I have told myself many times in the past I would kill her one day. After a fight, I would grit my teeth and tell myself I could get rid of her. But when the anger has faded away, I've always changed my mind. I needed her, wanted her alive. I've always managed to stay my hand, never to harm her, never with a fist nor an open palm. Now she's dead because of me. I know what I'm capable of. I've done so many selfish, heinous things in the pursuit of happiness. But to kill someone I actually love...
Wake up, Buttercup. This isn't real. This can't be happening.
So if we go by Ash's route, so Luke is a cold-blooded murderer.
This is a nightmare. That's all it is.
So the ghost probably just amplified the bad traits that were there, really. There's no denying it. Not with the smell of blood. Her blood. Musty and nauseating. Filling the air like a sickly sweet perfume. It's a bit troubling how used I am to it. Death is something that I am all too familiar with. Death shaped me. It has given, and it has taken. And oh, how it was taken. I never liked it when it takes from me. And all of this room, if it meant what I think it does, I
killed them. I killed them.
Their blood is not the first to taint my hands. I've killed men and women, whether it be by my own hands or by my orders. But never children. After all, why would I condone the killing of someone who hasn't done me wrong? Helpless and innocent little things. Their deaths do not serve me any purpose. Actually, let's look back here. I don't want to believe it.
No. Wake up! Open your eyes! Raise your sleepy head!
This is not real.
Wake up, little Lucille!
What have I done? I don't know how long I sat in there, faced with Hannah's corpse in that horrid room. For a brief moment I thought it's good to sit her up, as if that would change anything. But the notion alone is stupid, one among the many, and it leaves me a little energy. At the very least, I managed to heave myself out at one point, only able to drag myself to the foot of our bed. Looking out the window shows the light has given way to darkness, enveloping everything with a night sky. On any other night it might have given me comfort, but now I want to rewind time and have my sunshine once more. I loved her.
And that's why she had to go.
To be honest, I really don't know how to feel.
Face it, Lucille Mitchell Wright. You owe me everything.
She's technically right. I was just blinded with rage of how she humiliated me at the party. I've worked so hard to be where I am, but in the fickle society of the rich and the famous, my own wife turning on me like that is basically social suicide. Oh, I just think being Luke Wright is social suicide. I was so angry, ready to protect what I've built for myself at all costs. I still feel the anger burning low, but for some reason it is directed at myself. With it, confusion rears. Questions come and go as I second-guess myself and my actions.
It had to be done. She was getting in our way.
Yes, it had to be done. She was... Was she getting in my way? No, that's not it. I did it because... I don't know. A rawness scrapes at me until I'm left feeling cold and hollow. It carves out my insides and has me wanting to scratch out my skin. It's crushing, suffocating. It makes me want to claw at my own throat. I've only felt this once before, when she died, when I can only call it grief. Perhaps this is the worst feeling of all.
She deserved it. It's all her fault. With her out of the picture, I can focus on me. I can do what I want without compromising. And besides, I never wanted to be a father anyway.
You need neither that whore of a woman nor her children.
I would never want to be a father. I can't imagine what kind of father I would be and wouldn't wish myself on any child. Of who I had as an example. Damien Wright was not a very good father. In the short time I had him as one. In fact, he hadn't been a father at all. He cared little for me. Didn't even know about my existence until he needed an heir. There are others out there. Other children I could call my brothers and sisters. I know of one brother from Brighton, older than I by many years, who was cast aside because he was ill. Another born within the same week as I was ignored because he had a preference for men. He chose me not because he loved me, but because I was the only son of acceptable standards among the many illegitimate children he conceived. I wasn't a son to take care of, but successor to groom in order to keep the right name alive. I was a tool, an investment. Not family, not even a person. Not that I hardly knew my father as one either, but even without that, I wouldn't want to bring a child onto this earth. I know the world with all it has to offer, cold, cruel, and harsh, into which no true kindness can survive in one piece. Humanity is more beastly than any animal that roam the land. Humans can be the most horrible of monsters. And I am one of them. So if I'm a monster, then why does this hurt me so much?
This is fine. I'm fine.
This is fine, dog, surrounded by fire. JPEG. It has to be the biggest lie I've ever said. And I've lied a lot.
You feel pain now, my prince, because of your kind and caring heart. But that shall pass.
It's a laughable notion on its own. Of course, humor is subjective. Shoikin comes in with a grim look on his face. I would assume he was expecting a bloodbath in here, judging by the slowness of his steps. There is a mess in here, just not that kind. I don't think he was expecting me to be in the state that I am. Sitting on the ground, haggard looking with blood drying on the sleeves of my suit, all while I giggle like I've just heard the funniest joke in the world.
What is so funny?
We would have been so beautiful together.
And his last words sound like a terribly bad joke coming from me.
There were toys in there, you know. And this bloody book of names. Do you know what this means? Did you? Did you know about this? And don't you dare lie to me. If you knew about this and you let me kill my own child, I'll fucking murder yours.
I stare at him straight in the eye, just daring him to lie about this. If he knew, he should have stopped me. If he knew that Hana was pregnant and did not tell me, he does not show it. The silence is not telling, but my blood boils as I feel how he judges me. You're a monster, Luke, right? He says without speaking.
Don't look at me like that!
I bet he knew and still kept quiet about it. This is why I mustn't trust anyone. Liars and thieves, a lot of them. Of course, that makes me quite the hypocrite, doesn't it? But it's a dog-eat-dog world. Becoming one of them is going to be inevitable, sooner or later. Had I been innocent of these sins in the first place. I want to lash out, to scratch, to bite and tear, become the monster I really am. I am the dragon that craves treasure and sets fire to the world. I will kill him. I'll kill them all. I already killed Hana. After all, why should anybody else be safe?
She asked me to keep it secret. Unsure if you would be happy to be a father, I did not think you would do such a thing. I let myself hope for the best, for once. You loved her so. The question is, would you have done things differently because of this knowledge? Would you listen to me? To anyone other than her, for that matter? If they forbade you from doing as you please?
And that's the kicker, isn't it? Because I don't know the answer to that myself. I want to scream, but I just feel so tired, like I no longer protest. When I'm picked up off the floor by my arm like I'm some reprehensible waif, I see nothing as I'm ushered into the bed and told to sleep. And as the lights are turned off, the terrace doors are closed and the curtains shut. Only then do I manage to speak.
What? Not going to tuck me in and tell me to have sweet dreams?
Nothing. He doesn't speak or even acknowledge that he heard me. The man merely collects the dirty laundry and leaves without a second glance. There's nothing but silence, cold and lonely and oppressing. How long has it been since I've slept alone? Far too long. I can't even imagine how I managed to sleep without a warm body beside me before I had Hana. Still, the fatigue soon catches up and pulls me into sleep's embrace. It's not her sobs that I hear, but his, hers, theirs. I'll never know now, will I? I've killed them. By my own doing, I've done all of it, even before anything has begun. The blood drips from my hands, pulling at my feet, lapping at my ankles, like the cold, suffocating embrace of my sins. They creep up my limbs as slow and unhurried, twisting and turning. Up and up it goes until nothing but a sharp, guttural cry escapes from my mouth. Then all at once,
We would have been so beautiful.
I choke back a scream and wake up in a cold sweat. With my heart pounding in my ears, it takes a while to remember where I am. In the dark and cold of the room, one can't fault me for feeling ill at ease. It isn't as bright as the penthouse, and the renovations did little change how old it feels. We've been here for less than a week. It'll take take a bit more time to adjust. It's hard to feel cozy though when I'm bloody freezing. Nudging the lump of fabric next to me, I sigh.
It's cold. Don't hog the sheets, Hana.
She always did this, though it hardly bothers me. Growing up, I was lucky to have something to use as a mattress. I feel like Luke is kind of like Dio. He just kind of came into money and just became a big dick. I'm not the one who grew accustomed to Egyptian cotton with a frid count of 800. Besides, the warmth that Hannah would exude on her own is usually enough to keep me sleeping through the night. The temperature tonight must be something else with how chilly it is right now. It takes a while. Then I remember. It can't be Hana. So, who is it? The horrible image of Hana's cold corpse lying underneath the sheets come to mind. That'd be anything but that. An intruder seeking warmth and shelter from the cold, dreary night. A maid sneaking in with mischief in mind. A hired hitman that has it out for my head. Even the last would be better than finding her there. I could fight off a man with a gun. Ha ha ha! No, it didn't work out so well. I can't say the same about the sight of her dead eyes reminding me of what I've done. The smart thing to do here is to get out, really. But nagging curiosity aside, I have to know what they're here for, and more importantly, what they've seen. What if they've seen what's in the other room? Why linger? Do they hope to blackmail me, and this is a sick way of sticking around so they can talk to me? If I leave now, they might as well. Just the act of trespassing alone should be cause enough for punishment. Whether that punishment leads to a swift execution remains to be seen. There's no sign that they've heard me, nor have they shown any sign of moving where they lie. With care, I go for a knife hidden in the side of my bed. It'd be foolish of me not to instigate anything while I'm unarmed, after all. To pull back the covers can be a more difficult affair, because reaching out to uncover who was underneath, I have to prepare for anything and assume the worst. If someone should see the nozzle of a gun, it's going to be another murder tonight. I see the rise and fall of the sheets, but could easily be mistaken as the fall of the breeze. I like to believe that is breathing I'm hearing. Having an intruder in my bed, no matter how absurd, would be preferable to insanity. You know that my mind is rebelling against me, making me believe Hana still lives, and that she would even go anywhere near the monster that I've become. A great sense of foreboding comes over me, making me hesitate with my plan. I should just get out of here. Not look back. Let security handle it. That's what they're there for. I don't like the idea of people swarming in here, especially now with a dead body in the other room. The fewer people I know about, the better. That's always a good rule to follow this sort of thing. I'm on my own then. But what's worse that can happen, right? I've no reason to be afraid. There's no boogeyman, ha ha! No monster in my in the closet. It's just a horrible ghost monster that bleeds out every eye socket, nose, mouth, whatever. No, people are gonna take that wrong. It's just a horrible ghost monster. If anything, these things should be afraid of me. Right? That's no ghost. I mean, that's no person. Nothing. Nothing but a bunch of pillows stare back at me. Oh, it was staring at one point. Of course there's nothing under the sheets. Hana's dead and no other body has or ever graced my own bedside. What I felt, the breathing I had heard, it is into mine. Most likely imaginary construct of the guilty mind, of course. What else could it have been? Must be my imagination. I mean, look at me. I'm running on fumes and it's gonna be bloody paranoid. I need more sleep and maybe I'll take the day off as well. That sounds delightful, yes. Quiet and rest should do my head wonders. I'll have some much needed winks and I can figure out what I'm going to do with it. Now hush and off to the realm of sleep. Hush and think of nothing but fields of daffodils. So let's see the stack up here. Let's look up our profile anyway. I've been meaning to look at this for a while. He is 5'8", so he is taller than Ash. A prostitute's son, he spent his childhood roaming the streets begging or pickpocketing in order to avoid home. Home had a 2 drunk mother and an equally drunk client, someone who would be taken to beat a child out of anger if so much looked at them wrong. Let's see. Mother's bad habits led to an early grave. Bankruptcy would have been inevitable if he hadn't married Hana. Of course he's a Leo. Branching tree, where are we, branching tree? I'm hoping this route isn't as long as Ash's and even longer. I feel like the story now is kind of overstaying a bit. It could have resolved all of Ash's and Luke's route relatively quickly. Ooh, relationship. The pleasant dreams refuse to linger, however. With the morning comes another disturbance, both too loud and too sharp for my tastes. And I have very fine tastes. When the piercing rings of a doorbell reaches even the bedroom, I'm very much inclined to think the person who built this place lacks any sense of it. Perhaps the only thing good in this is that the ruckus has effectively chased away all the whispers and the needling of guilt, if only temporarily. Still, it's a bloody annoying distraction. I can tell already that it's going to be a long day. It hasn't even started. Before the racket even lasts another minute, I'm peeling myself off the bed and heading straight for the main door. There'll be another murder today if this doesn't let up. How quaint. It seems everything in this blasted universe has intended getting on my nerves as of late.
They are unworthy of your attention, my prince.
Be quiet, you.
Gordon Bennett! Only a Nancy would knock at such an ungodly hour!
The only thing I want to hear whispers from is my money. Oh, you're so awesome, Luke. Come spend us. Now, money, not the time. In the first place, I shouldn't be the one doing this. This is why I hired a valet, for fork's sake.
Where's that damn butler when I need him?
Cast them away. Drive them away.
I'll be honest, if only for today. With the mansion this quiet at this hour of the morning, it's easy to believe those little ghost stories might be real. But the only horror here is what I've done last night. The blood's still in my hands regardless of how many times I've washed it off. Neither the deafening silence nor the biting chill spreading across every room in the place. There's no place for fear when the guilt already burns that fuel. So I wait for another second. With no butler slants to my call, I simply yank the doors open myself, perhaps with more force than needed. And maybe it should be appropriately there, considering the person on the other side and the already dare appear at my doorstep. Even so, if I have a brain knows not to disturb anyone this early. Brief confusion quickly gives way to anger, and before the bloody photographer can even get a word in, I'm hurling venom at him. It's less than he deserves, really. Hannah would disapprove, scolding between the photographer's disrespect. She seemed fond of him, after all, despite meeting him only once or twice. He's merely doing his job, she'd say. But she's no longer here, isn't she?
You? How the hell did you get in here? What in 7 hells do you want? It's bloody 6 in the morning!
Listen, sir, I know this is not a good time.
Oh, it's not a good time! Did you even check the clock before coming here? I bet you didn't!
My home, my rules now. As simple as that.
Unlike you, the ones living in this house need to sleep.
Oddly, the words taste foreign and bitter in my tongue. Remorse slowly taking home, creeping up and twining inside, reminding me of my transgressions, when it hasn't done so before. Funny how the years have changed me. So I let anger guide them instead, if only because it's easier to cast it away, when you have someone else to protect it into. It just so happens the person I'll never take a liking to, no matter what the memory of her says in my mind. A plus, I suppose. A blessing. At least I won't feel any remorse if my eye does pierce.
Only you matters. No one else.
Come back when people are actually awake, or I'll call security on you.
But you're awake, Mr. Luke, right? He continues shouting even as I slam the door in his face. Some nonsense about the news lately. I don't understand most of it. However, with the closed doors muffling the better part of it and no ears to listen, his tirade doesn't last too long. Eventually he leaves and silence once again fills the room, as it should. In hindsight, maybe I should also call for psychiatric services. He certainly sounds mental, just screaming like that. A suspicious man like him left roaming the immediate grounds. Nothing good can come of it. But if his presence will indeed bring a problem, a sign of bad things to come, I'll probably know soon enough. Worst comes to worst, Johans will take care of it if need be. It's what I'm paying him for. In the meantime, the bigger problem at hand. The hush is quickly replaced by the nightmarish reality of what I had done and what I must do. Though the guilt weighs heavily upon me, I need to push it aside and proceed as necessary. Emotions play no part in this. Regret will not keep me out of jail if I don't hide my crime, one way or another. Oh, it should be easy. Just hide the body, no? Drain the body, crush the teeth, burn off her fingerprints, and mar her face past the point of recognition before chopping the body up. Well, you're really good at this, Luke. Experienced in this, huh? There'll be plenty of options after that. Incineration, feeding to animals, dumping into the ocean. Oh, she would like that last one, wouldn't she? Of course, there was always the option to let her decompose and become fertilizer for my daffodils. That really isn't the big issue, though.
This whole murder business just ruins a good Sunday morning, does it not?
Oh, yes. That murder just ruins a perfectly fine Sunday morning with me and my money. Let's have a nice breakfast, count my money, have a nice breakfast, and look, is that to murder your wife? Hana, my dear Hana, till death do us part.
And you must part. Forget about her.
Quiet, you! You're not my money. Yet even in death, I cannot let you go. My hands still shake at the very idea that I have your blood on them. My insides feel both numb and afire because of the sin I have committed. My lips quiver as I fight off the urge to cry prayers and apologies in the hopes that they would be enough to bring you back. But I know this is no fairy tale. But I'm not going to wake up the slumbering princess of a kiss, true love or otherwise. No sentiment or good intention will change the cruel reality of fate. Even if miracles do exist, I do not think they would happen for a man such as myself. The past cannot be changed. I must deal with the consequences to come, regardless of what the other person who has just walked in says. And he always has to have an opinion.
I think murder would ruin a sane person's mood no matter the day or time.
Continue mouthing off and there'll be a second one, Shraken. I've killed for less in the past. I've been soft, complacent. Those things need to change.
She made me soft. Over the years, I've been told marriage has made me a kept man. Of course, people stopped saying that after I shot a fool thought disrespecting my wife would get him anywhere. Now that she's gone, though, well, who knows?
I mean no disrespect. Excuse the murmurings of the insane, yes?
He means me, or Luke.
But I have every confidence, and every dread, that you will go through with it. However, about the Madame, how shall we proceed? I'm sure it has come to you that this will need more attention than the others who have gone under our care.
The chances of her remains being found are slim if we do things properly, as we have done in the past. But the chances of her disappearance going unnoticed, not bloody likely. She was Hana. Whether she was Hana Evans or Hana Wright, she's practically Luxborn royalty. Her disappearance will cause quite the stir, and who will be suspect number one? Me, of course, after that public blow-up she had at the party. This won't be as easy as, say, killing an ordinary accountant who's looked into the numbers a bit too thoroughly, or an attorney who hopes to get in my way. For now I need time to plan to, at the very least, hide the body and cover up her disappearance. That's why I had the rest of the staff sent away except for Shorkin.
I suppose we can't just sweep this under the rug, can we? What about a magic trick, then? Can we pull off a sleight of hand? Now you see her, now you don't?
Misdirection. Clever. You could blame the butler. I would not mind retirement.
Nice try, but I'm not letting you go. I still own you until I see fit. There's no need for you to take the fall. Not when there are plenty of others I can pinpoint as the culprit. Why even make it murder?
Because it's a very obvious knife wound. I don't think turning into a kidnapping story will work. But Hana was sociable enough that she had plenty of suitors. She could have been a bit too friendly with one of them. That'd be the pot calling the kettle black. But she might have, if she was falling out of love with me. She might have wanted to leave me for another. Someone else who caught her eye, her interest. Zach. Just our various visitors this morning, in fact. Woof!
People don't like a film about colors. I suppose they would have liked Blue Bibby a lot more.
Very funny.
So, Grand Director, do you want to tell me what Blue Foncé is all about? I was talking with Zachary, the photographer for Luxury Living. He was a perfect gentleman, Luke. I can't say the same for you as of recent. Look, Luke, nothing will happen. You have to relax. It was just a friendly chat.
Is that why he's here? Unlikely. But her, is that why she pulled that fucking stunt in public? Did she really not love me anymore? Is it because of the photographer? Or is it someone else? Is it some kind of Let's Player who chose these options for her? No, that's crazy. Almost as crazy as my love for money. How many others could be at fault for a change of heart?
This is all her fault. She already had you and she let herself stray.
What if we said that she eloped, ran away with another man?
I'd sooner believe she was killed by the Anselm butcher than think she fled with another man. But it could work. The masses will eat up such gossip. We can fake evidence, signs that will point to her traveling with a companion. Though, if I may be a bit honest, I loathe to speak ill of her or create rumor.
What if it isn't a rumor? What if there was someone? Why else would she act out like that? The falling out would be the best excuse to leave me. while coming out as the victim.
I think she was acting out because you were a dick. Well, more than a dick, but you know what I mean.
Whatever the case, it'll put me under less scrutiny. The police will investigate if it's a murder or a kidnapping or a sudden disappearance. But they won't really bother with marital and relationship issues, will they?
They are not minors. And I suppose the police will not bother unless you file a case. They have more problems than a love affair. It would be best to consult someone who knows the law a bit more intimately. Your lawyer, yes?
Yes, but he's away on a holiday, enjoying the beaches on some back-end country or some such. Somewhat called Philippians or something?
Oh yes, the Philippians. A nation in the Pacific.
He told me he'll be back on the 2nd of November.
Wouldn't that be a bit too late? If we have to wait that long, we can consult someone else. The chief inspector might be willing.
Yes, I suppose I can ask Lee. He's an idiot, but he's an idiot who studied the law. If I ask questions, he'll pry, and I'd like not to give too much away. Plus, he's kind of spiteful against you, despite like following your orders. A trick to keeping a secret is to have a few people possible know about it. Take a few people down and put them in their graves if I have to. At least the lawyer's paid to believe I'm innocent. I won't be nosy about the whole thing. And really, it's just because...
I don't trust him with this. He's probably busy with that wife of his, if she's still even in the city.
Who can I even trust, really?
You can trust your most faithful servant, for I am the only one who truly loves you, my prince.
A person's loyalty stops where greed starts. They all bow down to curry favor, faking smiles, attending to my every whim, expecting approval and gifts in exchange. That's all well and good for me. Let it not be said I am not a generous prince. There's those who I reign over through fear that I must watch out for. People like Harvey Lee fell under both of those. He cared to me shamelessly so I could aid him with his wishes in turn. And when he found that he was in too deep, I had to leash him lest he get in my way. Sure, I say jump and he'll ask how high, but he's a spineless little shite. The moment he thinks he sees opportunity to turn the tables on me, he'll take it. Bribery and blackmail can only go so far. One needs to make the other person bend, but it cannot have them broken. If they believe they have nothing to lose, that's when they retaliate. At the very least, they'll try to use the knowledge to try and gain leverage to be on equal grounds with me. If he does that, I'll be forced to kill him. I don't like letting go of my toys because they decide to be stupid. Handling idiots can be so tiring. Know how many of them die off? Another 3 can be found within a stone's toss. It's best to make use of them one way or another. So it's decided that they need to be deleted from the gene pool.
It won't do to use a story until we're certain it's believable. After all, it's the first time I've become a widower. Until then, keep the others away from her body.
Standing up to leave, I grow still at the sound of shattering glass. A dampness leaks into my shoes as red stains the hem of my pants and my socks. I forgot I was having wine.
Go clean that up and leave me be. I've already had the other staff take the day off. I don't want to see hide or hair of you unless I call.
There's no peace to be had just yet, apparently. The other man is quick to follow and quick to speak up as there aren't any witnesses to such disrespect to hear what had been said.
You do realize it has been 12 hours. Rigor mortis has already set in. Any longer and then it will start smelling like a sewer. I will not be able to do anything about that without removing the corpse itself. In 3 days' time, the smell will have seeped into the walls, and you will have to replace those to even get rid of it. If you're not keen about disposing the body just yet, at the very least we can put it in a freezer.
I suppose a chest freezer for the wine cellar wouldn't raise too many questions. And, look, I don't want to think about this right now. I don't care if you have to fill the room with potpourri or douse all the walls with perfume. Go order a freezer and have it delivered today even.
That's not suspicious.
Just make sure it doesn't stink up the place until we get rid of the body. Make it happen. This is your problem now.
If you are not to attend to it, will you be reporting to work then? You've already cancelled your appointments for the day, but some are still insistent that you keep to your original meetings. The board of directors are especially adamant about talking about the hotel and...
I put up a hand to stop the man from talking before he goes any further. Why, I can already feel a migraine building up from all his worrying. It's part of his job, I understand, but I said I was going to have the day off. So be assured, I am going to have the bloody day off.
Goodness, no. I think I deserve a break. A day or two. Or 3 without being surrounded by complete dunderheads. Director Hahn can handle those busybodies for a while, can't he?
For fuck's sake. I got the week off if I want, and my finances would not be the worst for wear. My company and the businesses aren't going to keel over and die just because I decided to take a leave for a bit, right? It's not like the only competent businessman there. I mean, at least, I hope not.
It's too early for this. I'm going to try and get some proper sleep. If anybody calls, tell them they can sod off and bother me another day.
Before there are any more protests, I pull out my mobile out of my pocket and toss it his way. By the time he catches it, I'm already halfway up the stairs. So let's see how we're doing in the route now. So we see there's quite a few final branches going to the end. There's one bottom one that seems to go on forever. And ever. So yeah, the bottom route, however you get here anyway, that's literally just a straight shot. There's no differences, just bam. And then there's... things kind of merge together in the top route, and then they kind of split up in 3 ways towards the end. And there's probably variances within it. As far as I know, I think Luke actually has 7 whole endings, with some probably, I'm assuming, being similar to the others. And we're in the north route right now. Mill route, I know for a fact, is if Hana's possessed, I think. Something like that. And we're barely scratching the surface in here. We've already spent almost an hour in this route. Hopefully it picks up pace. I honestly don't feel like reading 6 hours with Luke Wright. But no sooner as I flop on the bed and try to close my eyes once more to get maybe an hour or 2 of more rest, the violent sound of glass breaking comes from another room. I think it was just one of the cleaners, probably dropping a plate or a vase, and I would have left Johann sort it out. But the crash sounded too close to come from anywhere else but the room where Hana... Zach. My breath catches in my throat, and at the pace it goes, my heart is near threatening to escape from my ribcage. Without even realizing, I'm already up on my feet. Any intent to sleep has been forgotten in the favor of rushing to the door while my dread fills my stomach. Could be a burglar? My fears turn into a seething fury at the thought. If it is, they regret their trespassers.
There should be a law against noise this early in the morning.
This is awkward. Wrenching the door open, I can't quite believe my eyes as I see who stands before me. It's him. Damn, Luke. Jiminy crickets. I'm wondering what he's gonna say after this line. Oh, but there is something else they're good for too.
Hana? Hana, darling?
Oh my god.
Buttercup? Love? Speak to me.
I know this looks bad.
Oh my god. It's so easy to slip into the role of a victim. Pretend that I've been shocked at the sight.
You! What did you do?
I know this looks really bad, standing here in your house with a dead body, but I can explain.
You killed her! Johans! Johans! Get in here!
And who else can I to blame? Who else can be the culprit with this trespasser in my house? As he makes more excuses in your desperation, I have to take care not to show the glee as I lay all accusation on him. And he swears to whatever god he believes in, my man is quick to arrive and pull me back out to the bedroom, to safety, while he deals with this interloper. When all is said and done, incapacitating is a quick affair. Oh god, Luke. This is so bad. Then again, Elam thinks he does it bad. By then, the sun is already rising off in the distance. Johan steps out of the nursery with a questioning look on his face.
Call the police! Get rid of this rubbish!
Certainly. Will you be having tea this morning?
Yes, your wife is dead. Well, you're having tea.
Bring it to my study! And, clean out that awful stench!
I don't bother to linger any longer than necessary after that. See, that part, that is all Luke right. That's not the ghost. I have to think of what comes next. What now? That's a proper question to ask after all that's happened. To think I would have been so stressed out, trying to find a way to cover her death up. Then this golden opportunity just drops into my lap, or rather, breaks into my home. I can't quite believe my luck. This is far too perfect to make it all so easy. Oh my god. I can see the headlines now. Black man murders Hannah Wright. It would have been something to have any hand in her death. Who would accuse a poor widower, Luke Wright, a lot of people. I'll make sure the police confirms that as a fact. If there was any time to visit Officer Harvey Lee and have him cooperate, it would be now. If I played right, even the public will be crying out to have his head, and I'll never have to worry about this ever again. After a spot of tea and breakfast, of course. I intend to compose myself, to calm down and come up with my story. I feel like Luke has like a comical amount of evil power, as far as manipulating the society and everything. And no one likes him either, which is kind of interesting. He's not even charismatic. Because I'm practically giddy, my body near vibrating at the thought that I get away scot-free from this, all due to that man's sheer bad luck. I have to hold back laughter as I go for my breakfast, dismissing the policeman I come to survey the crime scene and collect the man. Once I'm done breaking my fast and after a cool shower, I call for Johans to drive me to the police station so I can give my statement. I think Luke is kind of... I wouldn't say he's a sociopath or anything, but he's kind of that... There is some, I guess, charisma there, where there are times he's kind of humanized, and if you, as some of the characters get to know him, they kind of somewhat enjoy his company. But deep down, he's probably, he's generally a terrible person. Which is, if you actually know your history and everything, a lot of people are like that. Bad people. If you're on the other end, they're enjoyable, of course. Very few people are dick 24/7, but if you're on the bad end, they're terrible. The ride to the precinct is quite a fare. I'm in no mood for idle chatter over what little sleep I've had. Not everything is smooth sailing, however, as soon as I arrive at the precinct either. But as they say, a smooth sea never made a skilled sailor. I'd be more suspicious if everything had gone without a ruckus. It'd be more boring, too. Because who doesn't love a good fight and a bit of drama? There's nothing quite like beating your opponent down and making them learn who's the boss. If life just slumped over, there'd be no point in even trying, but... I would be much happier if nosy detectives stopped being, well, nosy. That boy, Feathers, just roused me right up. The way he looks at me as if he's better than me. I saw it in his eyes. The righteous fury and the belief that he's some sanely good guy, and I'm the villain that needs to take down. I have no doubt that he was a word away from trying to assault my person. And I wish he had, if only so I could have proper legal grounds to get in a whole lot of trouble. I so hate men like him. Kind of ironic considering what he says at the end of the story. I came out looking like the civil gentleman between the two of us at the very least. But there's no wonders for my mood, and I had to retreat to Harvey's office to cool myself down. Just need to do the legwork to bring myself to this precinct always the sour day for me. It always means I have to fix something. Always annoying. So here I am with a bored glance at the view of the place. Johan stands outside like a good guard dog, Make sure no one enters unannounced.
I am so sorry about what happened out there, mate. But you know how it is with these officers. All testosterone and ranking.
Well, you need to learn how to keep your men in line better, mate.
I'm not your mate, buddy.
But I didn't come here to talk about these hot-headed daft villains. They could be dead from the neck up for all I care.
He has a propensity to forget one tiny detail. I own him. I want to seethe in rage. Remind him who exactly the boss here is. I very well can, thanks to the wonders of soundproofing. But the stressed and nervous expression on his face stops me from giving him a tongue lashing. It really do me no good to be at odds with me when he does prove to be a useful ally from time to time. So I listen to when he speaks, focusing on the smell of coffee and cigarettes that filled the room in order to curb my tongue. For now. But boy, when you let a man like Coffee Lee speak, he speaks a lot.
Look, all I'm asking is that you be a bit patient with them. You do realize a good chunk of them don't work. They aren't with you, so to speak. Bunch of kids who think the police are superheroes or some cock and bull. They don't know how things work around here. Especially that Frey boy. The lot of them are just tired.
And why are you telling me this?
I was going to ask you if you knew anything about it. Perhaps one of yours know. There's been a string of unfortunate incidents as of late. Just recently some bloke named Christian Sai was acting all nuts. Off his rocker, that man. And we had to hold him, thought he was drunk. Up until he started bashing his brains in. Now he's a vegetable in a hospital bed. Another time, some Mark Julius was reported missing. Some are thinking we've got a serial killer on our hands as of late. That Cooper lady from BRC got done in, and a Father Norman, too.
Oh, there goes Father Norman.
Bloody hell. Even that Santos girl. She was that detective's friend, you know? Though I keep telling him not to let his emotions get in the way of the job. You have to understand, mate, in a place as peaceful as Luxburn, this makes people wary. Reported crime rates go a bit higher than usual, and it makes them antsy and temperamental.
Especially if those reported crimes where people are getting gutted alive.
And now Hannah. The Hannah Wright. The press are going to go nuts about this, mark my words.
Are you implying that I have anything to do with them? Because as much as I hate to say it and admit, I am out of the loop. This is the first I've heard of these incidents.
Really, I'd say I'm insulted. This is par for the course. Harvey knows who and what I am. We have a deal of sorts, after all. Crime is always expected in a society of laws and with humans who allow their free will. But why not strike a deal with the devil and make sure that said crime has some order, at least?
Honestly, yeah. But when they said what happened to Hannah, well, it can't be you.
Ah! The older man looks at me with scrutiny. I'm under no delusions. It's obvious he's trying to find a trace of a lie. To find a way and pin a serious crime on me so he can escape his slavery from me, so to speak. But I put on the perfect picture of a grieving husband. An easy feat. If he pushes this, I will not hesitate to be sharp and make my point across to remind him of his place. Was that a weird pun? There seems to be need for it, however. Whatever kindness he can muster from me just gives in. It is easier to believe that a husband would never go so low as to murder his own wife.
If anything, you might have just caught the perpetrator for us.
I beg your pardon? Are you saying that man who just broke into my home is a serial killer?
Who would have thought? But Carl over there told me what they saw when they went to tape off the crime scene. That room Anna's body was found in. You must have noticed it, no?
My confusion must be in plain sight, because I really am wondering. What could I have missed that would imply that a serial killing had occurred? The unhinged part of me wants to laugh, just let it all out. This is ridiculous. Hilarious and preposterous at the same time. It's a near thing too, and my mouth twitches, ready to put a grin on my face.
Or I guess not. I guess you were too shocked with what you saw and all. I don't blame you. It's nasty.
I can feel the blood leave my face and cheeks gone cold as I remember. help me all over the nursery walls. And I'm certainly not the one that put them there. So who? Luke's evil brain trying to put 2 and 2 together. Brain cells no work if money does not fuel them. I'm snapped out of my musings when the old man starts to prattle on again.
It's those bloody letters all over the place, just like the others we've seen. It's crazy to think there's a serial killer in a place like this. You think you only see that sort of shite in the films, but no, we have one. And as it turns out, it could just very well be motherfucking Zachary Steele. I mean, I still can't quite believe it right now. That guy's a nice kid, but...
Harvey waves a hand lamely for the air. Not quite sure how to continue his statement.
They say looks can be deceiving.
I finish for him. Because innocent or serial murderer, this kid is my stay out of jail card. If he's a former, it doesn't matter. And if he's the latter, and he really did have the time to write all that, I may well have dodged a second bullet.
So what is our resident serial killer looking at?
Well, I doubt anyone would really try to defend the guy, especially if you're pressing charges. Not unless D.A. Davis tries to stick her nose in it anyway. But, well, just the breaking and entering charges alone is going to get him half a year and a huge fine. If he can be placed in those other murders, the guy's never going to see the light of day. He's looking at 30 to life.
Listen well, Lee. If he gets any less than what he deserves, I will be very unhappy. There will be consequences if you prove your incompetence in this matter. I want him rotting in a cell until the end of his days for what he did to Hannah.
For what people will think he did to Hannah. The look the older man gives me brings some level of satisfaction. How his eyes widen and his pupils dilate. He's good at hiding his fear. I'll keep my promise if this isn't done and he knows
Now,
it.
is that all you're here for?
Well, there is another thing I want to ask.
What? Can't I visit a friend? That detective. Feathers. Should I be concerned about him? He seemed keen.
Feathers? Oh, you mean Frey? Nah, he's not really anything to worry about. I got him assigned to your case to make the whole thing believable. The boy's a good detective, one of the best I have on the force. But he won't be able to do shit with all the red tape tying him up. In fact, the higher-ups just took him off your tail.
The case against me? I still have one? Harvey, my dear old friend. Have you been slacking off? Surely I told you to take care of that sort of thing. Surely it shouldn't have taken you this long. Surely it should be quiet by now on your end.
Surely you can't be serious.
They shouldn't be assigning anything to what's supposed to be a cold case.
I doubt you've got anything to really worry about unless you go out there and announce the shit you've done. They don't want to accuse the most powerful man in Luxburn without being 100% sure about things, of course.
The way he goes about it so nonchalantly.
But it's because of that company problem Suarez been talking about. Can't believe that's still a thing. You think the geek would have figured it out by now? He's supposed to be a computer genius. Don't go blaming me for it. He's the one slacking off if you ask me. Don't you be pointing fingers my way.
And has Suarez mentioned anything new about that?
You'd have to ask him about it. You know I don't understand half the technical computer mumbo-jumbo the guy goes on about. It's like the guy speaks a whole other language. Which, technically he does, but you know what I mean.
Yes, I suppose you have a point. Very well, if you haven't got anything else useful for me, I might as well head home. Get some bloody peace and quiet.
I could have some tea, maybe some whiskey and a nap, and I'll be right as rain. At least one of us should get some R&R, but it looks like Harvey isn't going to get any. Now with the commotion that started up outside the room. From inside the office, we can both clearly see something's up. And they open the door and lets the din of the place flood into officers going about and the phones ringing up the storm.
Looks like your children are in need of their minder, Harvey. Whatever could this be?
What in blazes is going on here? What's that fucking fire?
There's been a jumper, Chief.
He's out of madness as the callers ring in all about it. A jumper. And Luxborn. If I weren't so tired, I'd give it more interest. Besides, go about what the officers on the phones are saying, it's probably far too late for the poor soul. They've already gone splat and all lines are clogged with the stress and the busybodies. It's not every day you hear about such things in this city. At least it's not every day I hear about a jumper that I haven't caused. As if on cue, Harvey glances my way with a tight expression on his face. And I have to shake my head at him to say no, this one isn't mine before I leave him on to his pets. Stepping out from the chaos, I lit in a breath of fresh air. Or as fresh as it's going to get in the city. I too hate going to the precinct. It's a fucking zoo filled with animals. People who step in included. But it's not like the city isn't any better. Humans are just higher form of animals after all. We don't delude ourselves into thinking otherwise. I call up the car to take me away from it all. So I can't bring myself to step inside the house when I do get home. Johans has already gone in to berate and guide whichever men Harvey is sent from the force to investigate. They'll be one of ours, of course. The men and the women who could be coerced into doing what is asked of them with a bit of bribery and a bit of blackmail. These are men who have long been jaded by their time in the force and knows how unfair the world can be. Why not profit off it too? They'll have to make sure any evidence implicating me of a crime doesn't make it to official hands. Put Steele's prints on a knife if they need to procure the murder weapon. Do whatever else is necessary so someone leads away from the Luke, right? Really, I'm in no way to deal with them. I may just say I'm shooting one or the other. They're far too informal, far too yappy. Dogs that don't know the manners. And I hate to send them to the pound and let them put down when they can still be of use. And I get no rest with them lurking about my bedroom. They aren't trying to pillage the fridge for free food. Might as well stay put for the time being.